Okay, y'all, I am super jazzed about this one. Today's restaurant ranking video is going to be one of the wildest and potentially the most unpredictable of the ranking videos we've done so far this year. Why? Well, because the way we feel about Magic Kingdom's restaurants has drastically changed recently, and we want to make sure you're kept in the loop when it comes to what places are impressing us and which are leaving something to be desired. Hey everybody, it's AJ for Disney Food Blog. We don't want you to eat disappointing food in the place where dreams are supposed to come true. So today's video is going to rank every Magic Kingdom restaurant from worst to best and help you decide where you want to dine on a full meal during your next visit. Keep in mind, though, that these rankings are based solely on the opinions of the DFB team and yours truly, which is why we're going to make sure both the positives and negatives of each restaurant are thoroughly explored. That way, you don't skip out on what could have been a potentially great meal for your family simply because we weren't huge fans of the place ourselves, or you don't feel let down about a certain meal just because we hyped it up a bit too much for you. Again, we're only focusing on restaurants in Magic Kingdom, the ones that have food options that'll fill you up and keep you satisfied for long periods of time. So no just snack kiosks or candy stores today unless they're like super important and you absolutely need to have them ranked. That being said, if you want to check out our best Disney World snacks for 2024 and you want maps to get to them, go ahead and scan the QR code you see on the screen now or head to disneyfoodblog.com/bestsnacks and you'll get our top 10 snacks in each park for this new year, and the digital download will include full color maps to help you track down these snacks once you arrive. So plan ahead, y'all, and grab those maps. Okay, now, the bottom 5 of this particular ranking are going to be really surprising to you, I think, because 3 of them are 3 of the biggest counter service restaurants in Disney World. So this is going to be weird. I'm telling you, this is going to be a ride and you might be upset. So definitely let me know in the comments what your thoughts are. Again, we definitely want to hear what you think and what your experiences have been with these restaurants, because every little bit that you contribute will also help other people watching the videos and trying to decide where they're going to eat in Magic Kingdom. So if you're like, AJ's totally wrong, this place was great, this is what happened for my family, we love that. We love that, those contributions and that information, because it's going to help people make decisions as well. So, at the bottom of our list is the lunching pad. Now, this is a not so tiny Tomorrowland kiosk who tries its best, but ultimately doesn't impress us too terribly often. That doesn't mean it never impresses us, but it's usually something we can just pass by. The lunching pad serves up a very limited number of quick service entrees, mostly hot dogs. However, it's a pretty decent place to pick up a snack when you've got the munchies. While snack options rotate out frequently here, our favorite sweet savory option tends to be that cream cheese warm stuffed pretzel when it's available. And the lunching pad is also a good place to swing by for a quick breakfast. Again, that's only if breakfast is available here during your visit. It does come out during busier times. During slower seasons, you might not see these, but if you happen to be at the park when the lunching pad is serving up that morning grub, it's got a good breakfast bowl, tots topped with a cheese omelet with queso and sour cream, as well as that sticky bubble bread, which is incredible. That's a sweet bread rolled in cinnamon, caramel, warm spices, basically a monkey bread. It is so good and definitely something that would pull the lunching pad out of the bottom spot if you were eating it. So, quick word of warning though, stroller parking for Tomorrowland is located next to the lunching pad, so this area can get real congested and the limited number of outdoor tables nearby can get filled up during those peak meal times. This also happens to be a place where people just sit and hang out for a really long time, even if they're not eating anything. So it may be hard to find a seat at this place just because like grandma didn't want to ride Space Mountain, so she's just hanging out reading her Kindle. So you may want to pick up your snacks here during off dining times instead. Pros for this place, the cream cheese pretzel and that amazing sticky bubble bread if you can get it. It's also a good place for that quick and easy breakfast. Cons, not a lot of actual meal options here and it can get super crowded. I'm also going to say that there's a lot better food in Magic Kingdom, so please don't waste your money and your stomach space on just a regular hot dog unless it's, critical that you have a hot dog fan and they just have to get it. Overall, 5.5 out of 10. Now, I'm not gonna lie, this next one I almost forgot to add into this video. That's how forgettable it is. And we're talking about Tortuga Tavern. This counter service restaurant is located across from Pirates of the Caribbean in Adventureland and serves up entrees that have actually improved in variety lately when this place is actually open, which is never. You've got choices like orange chicken strips, barbecued slaw dog, and a peanut butter chocolate hazelnut spread and banana sandwich. See, pretty unique. Though granted, I can make that last option pretty easily at home without paying $11 for it inside a theme park. Some of our DFB team actually really do enjoy this place, but most of us tend to skip out on it for literally anything else available. And since that spring roll cart is only steps away from Tortuga Tavern, yeah, I'd rather get my fill on those snacks rather than the okay food here. It's also worth noting that Tortuga is rarely open, so if you come during a slower time of year, it may not even be an option for you to consider. And when a place like this is rarely open and it's not that great when it is, a lot of people just forget about it anyway. But one really good thing about this place is that there's a lot of seating, and it's accessible seating even if the place isn't open. So it's a convenient spot to just sit and chill or eat lunch or grab something across the way at Golden Oak and bring it over here. Just wouldn't be my number 1 choice or even my number 2 choice or my number 10 choice to actually eat at. Pros, cheap and quick, and you've got a covered seating area with quite a bit of seating. Cons, it's rarely open. The food is pretty simple and you could probably easily whip up a lot of it in your own kitchen back home. Overall, 5.5 out of 10. All right, here's where things are going to start getting controversial. Next on our list is Cosmic Rays Starlight Cafe over in Tomorrowland. And this is one of those quick services that I love it, but I understand why a lot of people don't. On the one hand, Cosmic Rays has a great variety of counter service classics like burgers, hot dogs. This is where you get your chicken nuggets, and there are plant-based options as well. But on the other hand, this food is what you think about when you think basic theme park eats. Nothing here is gonna blow you away. They used to have stuff that could blow you away, but not anymore. The food is standard, sometimes even less so, with maybe an interesting seasonal item featured every now and then, like when there's Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party or Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party, they might have an interesting thing here, or maybe for another holiday. But otherwise, it's pretty tame and kind of boring. It is a safe bet for kids or adults who want their chicken strip and french fry fix. And when it comes to the atmosphere of Cosmic Rays, well, besides Sunny Eclipse, this is mostly just a blah, gray, blue, and purple dining room that looks very high school cafeteria-ish. But again, all that basicness can be overlooked by the incredible Sunny Eclipse. He's an audio animatronic alien who will sing to you while you are eating, and I am still waiting to get an autograph from him, but it's fine. I will be patient for a while longer. Sunny is a quirky and entertaining addition to what's otherwise a very boring atmosphere. It's also worth noting that there's a whole lot of seating at Cosmic Rays and indoor seating at that. So though it can still get packed out here during peak dining times, it is a good place to go on off times for a little bit of AC and a little snack. So again, dining here for a late lunch or an early dinner is going to be preferable. Pros, safe options for choosy eaters, and I would follow Sunny Eclipse to the ends of the earth, and lots of seating and AC. Cons, the food is pretty boring, not gonna lie. Aside from Sunny, this place lacks Magic Kingdom pizzazz, and it can get really packed at peak dining times. Like, it is the definition of the Disney World nightmare when it's crowded in here. Overall, this one is a 6 out of 10, just for those chicken nuggets. Okay, still controversy here because the next on our list is Pecos Bill Tall Tale Inn and Cafe. Back in the day, Pecos Bill over in Frontierland had a reputation for being one of the best quick spots to grab a burger in the most magical place on earth. These days, however, the menu has changed to feature more Mexican fare, though there is still one burger option on the menu. It's just nothing to write home about. And even with the Mexican food switch up, we still used to enjoy this place well enough thanks to its former toppings bar where you could really load up on extra goodies to customize your meal just the way you like it. But the toppings bar didn't come back after the 2020 closures, so now Pecos Bill's taco, fajita, nacho options are just okay. And you used to get all the guacamole you wanted for free, and now you have to pay for it. So Pecos Bill will get the job done and get you fed for an okay price. There's a ton of seating, but if you're expecting gourmet Mexican cuisine that goes above and beyond to impress, you might be very disappointed. Still, Pecos Bill can be a good spot to feed the whole family inside a nice air-conditioned building. Just don't expect any of the extra frills and excitement to go along with it. Pros? Well, if you like Mexican meals, then here you go. And a decent amount of indoor seating is available here. It's also more affordable than many other restaurants around the park. Quick aside, do any of you remember when they used to have the giant nacho platter here that you could buy for like $1 bajillion? And then they'd bring it out and you'd sit at that reserved table with a tablecloth, and it was super fun to do. It only lasted for a few months, maybe a year, and then it was gone. It was such a bummer. I wish they'd bring something like that back here. Anyway, we have a video on it if you want to watch it. Cons for this one: no more toppings bar, RIP, because that was truly amazing. Again, not the best quality food you're going to eat during your trip, a big shortcoming for Magic Kingdom in general. And it's another restaurant that gets real busy around those peak dining times. Everybody crowds in here, so make sure to have a My Disney Experience app downloaded so you can mobile order ahead of time. This one's a 6 out of 10 as well. Okay, Pinocchio Village House is next. It rounds out our 5 bottom restaurants today. So that's basically all 3 giant counter service locations in Magic Kingdom in the bottom 5. Yikes. Anyway, this one's in Fantasyland, and Pinocchio Village House is infamously known for its flatbread pizzas and salads. Now, I've got to admit, a few seasonal flatbread gems did pop up on Pinocchio's menu this past year, and every once in a while they get those really, really right. But just as soon as those seasonal items disappear, we're left with the mediocre stuff yet again. Basic cheese, pepperoni, meat, and buffalo chicken. Okay, the best of these is definitely the buffalo chicken, so don't be sleeping on that one. And honestly, these flatbreads aren't as bad as the puffy personal pizzas you're going to find at Pizzafari in Animal Kingdom or Pizza Rizzo in Hollywood Studios. But that's not a very high bar to surpass if you've been watching us at all. You know that. You'll definitely find much better pizza and flatbread options elsewhere on property, so don't feel like you need to settle if you want to hold off for the higher end stuff. That said, if you're looking for quick service pizza, this is probably some of the best that you're going to get in Disney World, period. Okay, enough of the negatives and the very faint praise. Now it's time for the positives of Pinocchio. Along with those unique seasonal items that really do surprise us every now and then, the quick service setting is a beaut, Clark. You'll find scenes from Pinocchio painted on the walls, a wishing book where you can write down your heart's deepest desire, and if you can find a spot, you might be able to snag a seat next to the huge picture window and watch guests embark on their ride through It's a Small World. It's super fun to wave at the passengers as they sail, and there are even some cute signs that you can hold up to kind of, I guess, wish them well on their way or get them to wave back at you or whatever. They're very, very cute little signs. Now, one awesome thing about Pinocchio Village House, which by the way is Pinocchio Village House, not Pinocchio's Village House, which a lot of people don't know. It's kind of like the Cinderella Castle, Cinderella's Castle thing. Anyway, if you go up the stairs at Pinocchio Village House and you head out onto the balcony, there are a few tables there. There's like 8 tables on the indoor kind of catwalk and then the balcony as well. And that's a really nice place to sit and just people watch and enjoy the views of the castle and have your flatbread or whatever you ordered. So that's a little hidden gem secret that a lot of people don't know, that that little balcony is out there, but you can absolutely go up there and sit and eat your food. So pros for Pinocchio: beautiful building with fun interactive elements, and pizza's pizza. Kids will probably still enjoy what's available here. And there are some surprisingly tasty seasonal options that like to show up, so keep checking back with us for more of those food updates. Cons: the typical flatbreads are tolerable, but that's not super high praise. And at the risk of sounding like a broken record, it gets busy around those peak dining times here. There are higher quality pizza options inside the Disney bubble, so check out our Ranking Every Pizza video to find out about them. Overall, 6.5 out of 10. Next up is Gaston's Tavern. Now, initially I wasn't going to add Gaston's to this list, since its main trade is very much just snacky stuff. It's hard to find a full meal here, but it does have a sandwich on the menu, and I guess you could make that giant cinnamon roll into a meal if you wanted to. Listen, I just wanted an excuse to talk about this place, okay? It's near and dear to my heart, even though it's lower on the list. So Gaston's Tavern is a counter service eatery located near the Beast's Castle in Fantasyland. And don't worry, this place isn't hidden by any means. You'll be able to find it thanks to the giant Gaston statue that's just as big as his ego. The homage to Gaston and his manliness continues inside the tavern, where a massive portrait of the antagonist hangs above the fireplace of the French Village pub. Seriously, I don't know why Belle turned this guy down. She could have had that in her house. Like I said, there's not a whole lot to eat here aside from the ham, provolone, and Swiss sandwich, which is something that a lot of people really, really love. The ham, provolone, and Swiss sandwich is served warm on a soft brioche bun with that gooey, melty cheese and salty sweet ham, making it a great option for picky eaters or just anyone who's sick of the typical hot dog burger chicken nugget situation by now, though I don't know why you'd ever be tired of chicken nuggets. If you are, then please give them to me. Along with that sandwich, though, we love Gaston's Tavern for those cinnamon rolls and the gray stuff cupcake. Remember that gray stuff cupcake? Yeah, remember how amazing it was that you could get the gray stuff at Be Our Guest restaurant when you dined there, but you couldn't get it anywhere else? Well, yeah, now you can. So get it at Gaston's Tavern. And of course, the LeFou's Brew is there, made with frozen apple juice and a hint of toasted marshmallow, all topped with all-natural passion fruit mango foam, which sounds very weird, but a lot of people really, really like it. It is super sweet though, kind of too sweet. So even though you don't have a whole lot of options to choose from here, you can still wind up with a pretty satisfying meal in the end. Pros for this one, tasty sweets and drinks. The atmosphere is very cool. You definitely at least want to walk around in here a little bit and do the photo op where you sit in Gaston's giant chair. And you can get the gray stuff here without paying a lot of money for it over at Be Our Guest restaurant. More on that in a second. Cons, only one entree option currently, and not great for those looking for a super hearty meal. Plus, some people will tell you that the cinnamon rolls are dry. I don't think they are, at least not always. Overall, 7 out of 10. Okay, Friar's Nook is next, and this may be controversial to be sort of above Gaston's Tavern for some. And I'm not saying the Friar's Nook is going to be the best place you eat during your trip. We're still kind of well under the midpoint of this video. But what I am saying is that you're not going to want to completely sleep on this one, especially if you're trying to track down a meal that's affordable, easy to eat on the go, close to all the Fantasyland stuff, and can satisfy the picky eaters in your group. Okay, so maybe it will be the best place you eat during your trip. I guess it all depends on where your priorities are. While this menu does change up pretty regularly, you're typically going to find loaded tater tots and hot dogs here in bratwurst, along with mac and cheese. You can also pick up some quick and easy breakfast items before or after your mad dash over to Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. All in all, one of the biggest downfalls for Friar's Nook is its lack of seating. And by lack of, I mean there isn't very much of it at all. So you're more than likely going to have to take your food on the go. You can sit over at Storybook Treats, but that's really for Storybook Treats, and it's usually full anyway. So I guess it's a good thing most of these items are pretty portable. Pros, satisfying options for picky eaters. It's a lot of food. You're definitely not going to be hungry after this. There's a good on-the-go breakfast, and it's fairly affordable in Disney speak. Cons, major lack of seating options, semi-typical theme park foods. I mean, I'm giving them some major credit though with the loaded tater tots and the mac and cheese and bratwurst situation. But even if they're not typical theme park foods, they are definitely comfort food. And if you're looking to get out of the heat and the AC, this isn't going to do it for you. All the seating is outdoors. Overall, 7 out of 10. Oh my goodness. Okay, Tony's Town Square is right here, smack dab in the middle of our Magic Kingdom restaurant rankings. Once upon a time, Tony's Town Square would have been a bottom of the barrel pick for us. Go watch this video from previous years and you'll see. But lately, he's been pulling himself up by the spaghetti bootstraps to redeem himself. And you know what? That kind of effort deserves some recognition. Tony's Town Square is an Italian table service restaurant located on Main Street, USA, right in Town Square. And you're going to find it just as soon as you enter the park on the right-hand side. So I've always adored this restaurant based on its Lady and the Tramp theming, but not so much for its food. In fact, I've really disliked many of my past meals here. Sorry, Tony, but some new items on the menu finally showed up to change our minds about this place, and it worked. Almost. I actually heard from some cast members that there's a new chef here and that he knows what he's doing, so that's a good sign. I mean, yeah, I'm pretty sure that the pasta dishes you're going to find at Tony's still aren't going to compete with your grandma's homemade lasagna, but I will say the new tortellini al forno, made with Calabrian chili and cheese tortellini baked Italian sausage, onions, peppers, mozzarella, creamy tomato sauce, it is very satisfying, and I love the dish it was baked in. That's cool. But while that's pretty good, and there are a couple of other new entrees on the menu, our favorite things to order here are those glorious cheesy appetizers like Tony's garlic bread for the table, topped with roasted garlic butter and Parmesan fondue, and the foot-long fried mozzarella sticks. That's right, foot-long fried mozzarella sticks, and you get 2 of them, so that's 2 feet of fried cheese. Why would you not want 2 feet of fried cheese? I don't even understand. Now, if you're pretty picky about making sure your Italian cuisine is like top of the line, then I don't know. You may not want to book a meal here solely for the cheese apps alone, though I wouldn't blame you if you did. But this probably isn't going to be like, eating in Rome or anything like that. Just heads up. Now, pros, lots of great cheese, and they're doing really good things with the menu, it seems. It's great for those looking for a substantial meal at an a la carte price point, and it often has last-minute reservations. For now. Cons, if you're looking for unique and different and divine, then Tony's might not be the right place. It's still pricey for entrees, not the priciest, but still $27 to $33 plus for pasta that you probably have had better elsewhere. And Tony's is literally hoarding all the best cheese snacks, and it's making me sad that I can't get them on the go. Overall, 7 out of 10. Next, we're headed over to Casey's Corner, smack dab in the middle of our ranking. Now, once upon a time, I think this place would have ranked much higher for me, but lately, I don't know. There's the cons are kind of showing up a little bit more than they have in the past. Maybe I've been a little too nostalgic about Casey's Corner. Anyway, Casey's is a Main Street, USA classic quick service. It serves lots and lots of hot dogs along with other ballpark food. Now, I know that I just said lunching pad isn't great because all they serve is hot dogs. So why is Casey's Corner ranking so much higher? Well, there's the nostalgia reason, of course, but there's also another reason this fast food spot is so popular. It is reliable. It's quick. It's got plastic cheese for an extra $1 that you can use on your corn dog nuggies. And that's amazing. I always love a place that'll give me plastic cheese, even if they used to give it to me for free and now I have to pay for it. But at the end of the day, you're getting hot dogs, corn dogs, and French fries. And even if that's exactly what you're looking for, the most memorable part about this spread of fast food fare is the awesome view of Cinderella Castle that you're going to get when you sit at one of those outdoor tables. And of course, the view potentially of the parade or of the show going on or the fireworks. So there's lots of things you can see from Casey's that make it a little bit more beneficial to go to. So I don't know. I still have a very soft spot for Casey's. I love this place. Honestly, I love their brownies that they have for the dessert. I don't know why I love them so much. They're mass produced, but they're really good. I dig those brownies. They're very fudgy. Anyway, we also have the Blue Ribbon corn dog kiosk on the way over at Disney's Boardwalk Inn. And so corn dog allegiance might be switching sides very soon since they are born and raised over in Disneyland. Pros for Casey's: reliable Magic Kingdom noshes, plastic cheese and corn dog nugs, and beautiful Cinderella Castle view. Cons: not great for more adventurous eaters. Outdoor seating is very limited and indoor seating is even more limited, and you might want to save your corn dog cravings for the new corn dog place to come. 7.5 out of 10. We've made it to Be Our Guest restaurant. Are you surprised this is as low as it is? Maybe. I always get worked up before I start talking about Be Our Guest restaurant because I'll always remember what it used to be versus what it is now. So Be Our Guest has been one of Disney World's most popular restaurants since it opened back in 2012. Remember the huge controversy? This was the first place you could get alcohol in Magic Kingdom. But back in 2012, this place was a whole lot different. It was a whole lot less expensive, for one, and originally Be Our Guest opened with a quick service option during lunch and a table service dinner. Nowadays, it's a rather expensive prix-fixe dining experience for both lunch and dinner. It's $70 per adult and $41 per kid. Lunch and dinner serve up French-inspired cuisine like Duroc pork chop, Vandeven spice vegetables, whatever that is, roasted poulet rouge chicken, trout amandine, and center-cut filet mignon, which is what I bet 85% of the people who eat there order. And while it's decent enough, it's not $70 decent, not even when you throw in an appetizer and dessert in that price point. But at Be Our Guest, what you're paying for isn't really the food, it's the atmosphere. And you know what? Fair. The theming here is pretty spectacular. There are 3 separate rooms you could end up in. The most likely and largest is the chandelier-adorned ballroom. The second room is the Rose Gallery, where you'll find portraits hanging all over the walls that depict scenes from the film and scenes from not the film. So this is basically where Belle is hanging all of her pictures and portraits of her life with Beast. So this room didn't necessarily necessarily appear in the films, and it's also kind of giving you a little behind the scenes into more of the story that you haven't seen before. And finally, you've got the West Wing, which is dark and moody thanks to its occasional lightning and thunder strikes and always present low lighting. This, of course, is also where the Enchanted Rose is. This is the beasts area of the castle that nobody's allowed into. Very mysterious, beautiful room, and probably my favorite place to eat. Now, sadly, Be Our Guest restaurant is not a full character meal, but there is a character experience that takes place while you dine. At some point during your meal, a rare appearance from the Beast might happen, and he'll walk through the various dining rooms, but won't stop for full-blown meet and greets. Now, that's another thing that changed after the closures in 2020, is you used to be able to meet the Beast for a regular meet and greet when you were done with dinner there, and now that's no longer an option. So in short, the reason this place ranks as high as it does on my list is because of the Imagineering alone, the atmosphere, the experience of going into the Beast's castle. If you're a fan of Beauty and the Beast, this is a must-do. But if you're a fan of not spending your money on mid-tier food, then yeah, maybe not so much. Also, I'm still just a little salty about losing the incredible quick service lunch here that was such a good deal. Why? Why did you take that away from us? So pros, beautiful environment, very cool theming, and it's great for those who want an immersive dining experience inside the Magic Kingdom, especially if you've got people in your group or your family who love Beauty and the Beast. And it's versatile. It's good for kids, but also not a bad date night setting either. Cons for this one, very expensive, not great if you don't want to spend an hour or so out of your day eating mid-food, and the quality of the food isn't phenomenal. It's basically like what you're going to get at like the keynote at a conference, so not $70 worth. Overall, 7.5 out of 10. Next, we've got Cinderella's Royal Table. So CRT deserves to be in the top 5. It really does, but when it comes to that outrageous price point for subpar food, I cannot put it there in good conscience. That being said, Cinderella's Royal Table is awesome solely because you're getting the chance to eat in the iconic Cinderella castle, and that is truly enchanting. Cinderella's Royal Table suffers from the same kind of downfalls that plague Be Our Guest. The food here is okay, but not great, and you're still going to pay a ton of money for it simply because you're in the castle. However, Cinderella's Royal Table does make up points for its meet and greet element. And for that alone, it probably could be bumped up a couple of places on this list, but I'll let you make that decision. During your meal, you'll get to chat with and take pictures with several members of Disney's royal entourage, which could include Ariel, Aurora, Jasmine, Snow White, and of course, Cinderella. Cindy's always there. Though characters are subject to change, but she'll always be there. The pros for this one, beautiful setting inside the Cinderella castle, one of the few restaurants where you can meet a lot of Disney princesses without waiting in line to see them, and it's great for those looking for an iconic Disney experience. A lot of proposals happen here, and there's even a proposal package you can buy. Surprised? Of course you're not. Cons, really expensive. Reservations are hard to snag here, so make sure to prioritize those ADRs 60 days before your visit. And the food is okay, but probably not worth this outrageous price point. Overall, 7.5 out of 10. From the castle to a kiosk, we are going to Sleepy Hollow Refreshments next. Now, Sleepy Hollow almost made it into our top 5, which is super impressive considering it's a counter service with limited seating and limited menu options. But the quality of the items that it does have are so good. Sleepy Hollow is a small spot over in Liberty Square with a pretty spectacular view of Cinderella Castle. Throughout the day, corn dogs, funnel cakes, and waffle sandwiches are available for a little afternoon munching, and after 7 p.m., turkey legs are available to satisfy your ravenous late-night meat cravings. And if you swing by here, you may be able to pick up a giant Mickey-shaped waffle and get it topped with strawberries for just a few cents extra. The food here is consistently solid. They often will introduce things here that you're not expecting, but there is a small menu made up of mainly fried foods and waffle goodness. Pros, great for those who love high-quality carnival-style grub, satisfies a range of eaters, picky and adventurous alike, and it's budget-friendly. Cons, not the quickest quick service. Since the food is made fresh, it may take some time before your food is ready for you. It's also not great for those who are looking for more options and less fried stuff. And the seating isn't plentiful, and it's all outside. And because what you're getting here is mostly carbs, it may not be as filling as other restaurants around the park. But heads up that you're always going to find seasonal stuff here that could be a draw. Overall, 8 out of 10. Okay, we are more than halfway through, and do you hear that? Because those are the gears in your head spinning away, planning and scheming which Disney World restaurants you want to prioritize during your upcoming visit. Me too. And guess what? We can help you not just decide where you want to eat in Magic Kingdom, but where you want to eat everywhere else in Disney World too. Our DFB guidebook bundles are the best deal featured on the dfbstore.com website right now, because you can get all our available food guides covering festivals and snacks, Disney dining plan, holidays, and everyday Disney dining for so much less than just paying for each guide individually. And if you want to double up on those savings, then type in code YouTube before you make your final purchase. We spend so much time on these books every year making sure they are crammed full of important information as well as secrets and tips that we're literally getting now. We have a Slack channel for our team that we go over to and say, hey, I just noticed this in the parks. Let's get this in the guide. Or, hey, I just had this in the parks. It was amazing. Let's get it in the guide. So our whole team is contributing with our experiences in Disney World every single day to make sure that this guide is packed with the most recent and critical tips for you. So try it out. It's guaranteed. So if you don't like it, you can absolutely get your money back. That's no problem. Just with an email and we'll get you. So try it. If you're interested in getting the guidebooks and seeing what we have to offer, we'd love to have you test them out and let us know what you think. All right, we are back on the right-hand side of the park. We've made it to the top 5. And what better way to kick off the best of list than by visiting a restaurant that typically gets overlooked by a lot of folks. The Plaza restaurant is located at the end of Main Street, USA, facing Cinderella Castle on the side of the street nearest Tomorrowland. It's one of Magic Kingdom's smallest restaurants, making it more intimate and cozy, yet it can also feel a little too crowded at times, depending on the day. The food you're going to find here is very focused on classic American eats. This is the place for picky eaters, comfort food lovers. But the menu does change up pretty regularly, so a favorite of yours from the past may not be there the next time around. R.I.P. Monte Cristo. That being said, our favorite Plaza fries have stuck around on the menu for a good long while now. They actually came back after a hiatus just several years ago, and now we've got them back pretty long term. So as long as they're still there, we'll be very happy campers. And don't forget to pick up dessert here too. The Plaza is famous for its ice cream sundaes and shakes, and it's so famous you can even pick up their ice cream over at the attached Plaza ice cream parlor without needing a reservation. Yep, we really do like this turn-of-the-century restaurant. It's quaint, it's casual, it doesn't cost you an arm and a leg, and the food is pretty tasty. Pros, quaint and cozy vibes, like someone just invited you into their dining room for a nice meal. It's super budget friendly. This is one of the least expensive table service restaurants in Disney World, so right there, that's a selling point. It's also accessible food. It's satisfying, but not so over the top that picky eaters aren't going to like it, and it's really great for ice cream fans. Cons? Well, this is not really a con, but if you're just here for the ice cream, there's no need to make a reservation for the full dining experience. Just go to the Plaza ice cream parlor next door. It's also not great for those looking for over-the-top Disney theming and character dining. This is a pretty small, pretty straightforward restaurant. And it can feel crowded at times since the dining room is small and all seating is indoors. Overall, 8 out of 10. Now, the exact opposite of the Plaza restaurant is Crystal Palace right across the street. If you're looking for big and expansive and characters and buffets and all you can eat, that is what Crystal Palace is going to bring for you. Now, not only is the buffet food here going to be of better quality and cheaper than what you're probably going to get at Cinderella's Royal Table, but it's also still going to have a cute character meet and greet featuring the 100-Acre Wood Pals. Now, they're not princesses, but it is Pooh and Eeyore and Piglet and Tigger. I mean, who doesn't want to see Tigger? Plus, you'll still be able to see Cinderella Castle from those big windows surrounding the dining room. Maybe that's enough. Now, you may even be able to request a window seat with a castle view. Your request won't always be fulfilled, but it never hurts to check with the host and see if it's something the restaurant can do during your visit. It's a good place to watch the fireworks. Over on the buffet, food options change up pretty regularly, but you'll typically find things like carved meats, roasted veggies, Walt's favorite chili, a kids station, and a few more unique options like shrimp creole and plant-based curry. Now, when I say this place is cheaper than Cinderella's Royal Table, I'm not saying it's cheap. It's still going to be about $61 per adult and $40 per kid, which is a lot more than you're going to have to pay over at the Plaza. However, if you book the breakfast buffet instead, this is one of our hot tips, y'all. We love this tip that if you want to have the experience of a restaurant, go to breakfast there instead of lunch or dinner because it's going to cost a lot less. So breakfast at Crystal Palace, that's going to bring you down to $48 per adult and $30 per kid. You could potentially save like $50, $100 depending on how many people are in your group. Pros, the only character dining experience in Disney World featuring Winnie the Pooh and Co. There's lots of buffet options, and it's easier to book than Cinderella's royal table. Cons, still a pretty pricey meal, which isn't great if you're not super hungry and don't plan on going back to the buffet multiple times to get your money's worth. A few plant-based options are here, but not enough to justify the price point for strictly plant-based eaters, and it's not in Cinderella Castle, so no princesses, no over-the-top royal theming to impress your kids with. Overall, 8.5 out of 10. Okie dokie, we have made it to the Diamond Horseshoe and Liberty Tree Tavern. Now, for me, this is really about Liberty Tree Tavern, and I promise you that putting 2 restaurants in the number 3 spot isn't cheating. I'll prove it. Liberty Tree over in Liberty Square is a family-style restaurant set in a late 18th century home. Who doesn't want to eat in a Revolutionary War era house? It serves up traditional Thanksgiving fare all year round. If you know anything about me, you know I don't really love Thanksgiving foods. I'm not a huge fan of roast turkey, but there's so much more here that it doesn't matter. It's okay, even if you don't love Thanksgiving stuff, because they've got all kinds of side dishes and other roasted meats that you're gonna love. On the menu, you'll find options like the roast turkey breast and pot roast, oven roast pork, mashed potatoes, seasonal vegetables, herbs, stuffing, mac and cheese, a really, really yummy gravy. So there's definitely something for everyone. And I'm gonna let you in on a little tiny secret. If you have a kid like me who will not eat anything except French fries at some stage in his life, they may be able to get you some French fries. And since this isn't a character meal, this restaurant will be cheaper than other all-you-care-to-enjoy restaurants out there. It's priced at $42 for adults and $23 for kids. It's practically a bargain. I know, it's not a bargain, but it's Disney World. This is a Disney bargain. And for dessert, there's an ooey gooey toffee cake that drops the mic. You know I have loved the ooey gooey toffee cake since I first had it back in 2003, 4? Maybe even earlier than that. I don't know how long it's been at this restaurant, but it's definitely been there longer than I've been doing this blog, and I've been doing this blog for 15 years this year. That ooey gooey toffee cake has stood the test of time, and it's still more than the sum of its parts. It's vanilla toffee cake, chocolate sauce, vanilla ice cream, caramel sauce. There's more in there, though, I'm telling you, because it's so good, and I don't know why it's so good. Anyway, if you're a plant-based eater, Liberty Tree Tavern does have a separate plant-based Taverns Keepers feast that you can choose instead. But if you're not a fan of impossible meats, then this is still not a good option for you. Okay, now time to address the big question. Why is the Diamond Horseshoe paired up with Liberty Tree Tavern? Well, because it's basically the same thing. At least it's the same menu. While Diamond Horseshoe may be themed around an Old West-themed music hall and located in Frontierland, its menu is nearly identical to the one at Liberty Tree Tavern, and they are pretty much next door to each other. And you know what? I'm not mad about it. Diamond Horseshoe used to be a place that served mediocre barbecue, so having more places to eat all that endless Thanksgiving food and ooey gooey toffee cake and mashed potatoes and mac and cheese sounds really good. But here's a word of warning about either location. If you prefer one or the other themes, so Revolutionary War house, where you get to, learn about George Washington and Betsy Ross and John Paul Jones and folks like that, or the Wild West themed music hall. If you like one of those better than the other one, make a reservation for the one you like better. But if there's overflow, like if there's too many people dining in one of them, they will seat you in the other restaurant. It doesn't happen very often, but just a warning. So for this one, if you're super hungry, then great, you'll get your money's worth here. But if you're afraid of overindulging and then being spit back out into a hot theme park for hours on end where you're about to go on a really wild roller coaster, then you may want to spare your poor tummy and make reservations for someplace else. Pros, so much comfort food. And if you've got 2 restaurants serving the same menu, then you have even more chance of getting a spot at one of those locations. It's also hearty and satisfying for the price. Cons, maybe a little too hearty for a hot theme park day, and it's not great for more adventurous palates. It's also not great for plant-based eaters who aren't too keen on impossible meats. Overall, 8.5 out of 10. All right, we are down to the top 2, my friends, and taking the silver medal today is our favorite quick service in all of Magic Kingdom, Columbia Harbor House. Columbia Harbor House serves up New England-inspired surf and turf right in the heart of Liberty Square. When it comes to full meals, Columbia Harbor House is going to help you stretch your dollar. Just check out that trio platter. You'll get a combination of fried shrimp, chicken strips, battered fish served with hush puppies, and your choice of side, all for about $15. That's hard to beat in the Disney bubble. This spot also has a fan favorite lobster roll, New England shrimp boil, and lighter grilled fish items like the salmon and shrimp skewers. If you're more of a landlubber, you can opt for chicken strips or a mixed green salad instead, though there's really not a whole lot of other options for guests who aren't thrilled with a seafood-heavy menu. But be warned, it can get noisy at Columbia Harbor House around peak lunch and dinner times, but if you're looking for a quieter place to dine, go upstairs. Lots of people don't realize there's actually a second floor inside this quick service, so take advantage of that and try to scope out the seats next to the windows so you can people watch all the Liberty Square vagabonds from down below and also maybe see the parade. Okay, pros for this one, great for seafood lovers. It's affordable, especially when it comes to that trio platter, and it's quality food that's still speedy food. This quick service restaurant is better than a lot of table service restaurants in Disney World. Cons, not great for non-seafood lovers, obviously, but to be fair, I'm not a huge seafood fan, and I still love this place because I love the chicken tenders and the hush puppies. Also, this is not a hidden gem. It will get busy. It's probably not a hidden gem because, so many of us keep talking about it. And you're not going to find Mickey and friends here, but you will find great nautical theming and cool views. Overall, 9 out of 10. And we are at Skipper Canteen next. This is the winner chicken dinner. Takes the crown today. Skipper Canteen is a Jungle Cruise themed restaurant smack dab in the middle of Adventureland. And this place is a hoot. It is full of nods to the classic attraction, adventurous eats, and goofy pun-loving skippers, as well as some secret menu items that you're going to want to ask your servers about. No, really, ask your servers what's on the secret menu during your visit. You may be surprised with what you find out. Now, if you follow us and subscribe to this channel, then you know that I love the restaurants with that hidden Imagineering theming everywhere, and this one is just rife with it. Definitely take time to get up and walk around the restaurant, look at all those little puns that are all over on the walls, and go through the books on the bookshelf, and you'll see all kinds of funny nods. It's great. Also, throughout this whole video, we've been talking about how a lot of Magic Kingdom's offerings are pretty run-of-the-mill and theme park typical. But Skipper Canteen breaks that mold, and it does it in an adventurous way that is still accessible by picky eaters. There's not a burger or corn dog in sight here usually. You're going to find options like the Falls Family Falafel, the Mess Hall Fried Rice, Nile Nellie's Noodle Bowl, Hardy Har Char Siu Pork, Panicani's Congo Lime Delight, and so much more. Overall, Skipper Canteen remains a must-visit for us, especially for those who appreciate a unique menu, the Jungle Cruise ride, Disney history, and classic Disney storytelling. That being said, this menu could be a little too adventurous for some. If your kiddo's upset about the serious lack of corn dogs and burgers and chicken tenders and pizza here, then there are tons of other places you can eat inside Magic Kingdom to find those at a semi-decent price. Pros for this one, great if you're part of the Jungle Cruise fan club, best for adventurous eaters, and fairly easy to find last-minute reservations because everybody's scared of it. Cons might be too adventurous for your super picky eaters, and the skippers are so fun, but this is not a character meet and greet, and it's not the most time-consuming restaurant out there, but if you're in a hurry to get back to the rides, you may want to go for that quick service option instead. Overall, this one's a 9 out of 10 as well. So, do you agree? Is Skipper Canteen the best restaurant in Magic Kingdom, or was one park restaurant completely snubbed in this list? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to download our best Disney World snacks list and map for 2024 over at disneyfoodblog.com/Disney Snacks. Thanks for listening, everyone, and thanks for watching. As always, this is AJ for Disney Food Blog, and we'll see you real soon.